Taking a look at the trading week beginning August 12th, we have some key U.S. economic data next week. We're getting CPI, PPI, housing data, as well as retail sales, Philly Fed, and jobless claims. There's a lot more than that, but we're going from a very light economic week that had a great deal of volatility to a very heavy economic week with the level of volatility at this point completely unknown. So we want to keep an eye on that particular data, given that a lot of last week's volatility happened with no real data. So we'll be watching that data very closely. You look at what happened in the yield space after the double-digit drop that we got last week. This week we got a double-digit rally, but it's not even half of what we lost the previous week. The 2-year actually rallied on the yield side 15 basis points, back above 4% at 403. 5-year 16 basis points at 378. The 10-year yield rallied 14 basis points at 394, and the 30-year rallied 12 basis points at 423. Not a lot of movement in that inversion. We're again right on the verge of that 2s10s inversion going positive again. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. Fed speak ramps up. Next week, we're getting pre-scheduled speeches from Philly Fed President Patrick Harker, Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee, and Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic. And this is all leading up to the Fed's Jackson Hole Symposium, which begins August 21st. So there could be more scheduled speakers, but we're going to get a ton of them in Jackson Hole. Earnings and data. Earnings season's basically winding down. 87% of the S&P 500 has already reported earnings. 77% of the NASDAQ has, but next week we still get 87 companies with over $1 billion in market cap reporting, including such huge names like Walmart, Home Depot, Alibaba, JD.com, Deere, Barrick Gold, Cardinal Health, and luxury goods giant Tapestry. In terms of data, Monday, Canadian building permits and Japanese PPI. Tuesday, German and EU ZEW economic sentiment indexes, UK employment data and US PPI. Wednesday, UK inflation, EU GDP, US CPI, and Japanese GDP. Thursday, UK GDP, US retail sales, and Philly Fed manufacturing index, along with jobless claims and the NAHB housing market index. Friday, we get U.S. housing starts and building permits data, and the August preliminary Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index data as well.